So, just on reform, talking about cutting the cap on child benefits for 2 kids. What reform and any government need to be careful about is we have a welfare bill that is the size of the budget of small countries. Like, it's huge. And we've gone from a society in my granddad's era who saw it as a real last resort, and they would do anything to not go on state benefits. And it would kind of hurt the pride of generally a man who had to do that. Now, as I said, I think benefits are a great thing and a necessity for people who fall on bad times through no fault of their own, redundancies, ill health, whatever, crises. They need support, especially when you've got people that depend on you, families, etc. 100% money well spent. But we've gone from a society that would really rather not take help to a large percentage of society that would rather take benefits than work. And as I said, I don't blame them, because often it doesn't pay to work to pay. Because of how much wages have been suppressed for mass immigration and the taxing on those that work, etc. I totally get it. But again, I've worked with some charities. I've seen it firsthand. With a teenage pregnancy charity, for example, where the nurses there would help a girl of 16, 17, and they would look at me and be like, oh, we know their mum, we also know their gran, and it would be a generational thing. And these people would know every kind of little sub-clause, whatever it was, where you could get the most out of the benefit system. You had to play it so well. And the sad thing about it is that these people often, I am generalising, I don't know everybody, but there were many examples, and these people would often spend the money on the wrong things. And the other sad thing is that these people were often given no other option in life. They were told by their mum, and their mum would tell their mum that this is what you did and this is what life you could expect. This was up in the northeast, by the way. And there was no aspiration taught to kids, no inspiration, no, you can hope for better, you can go places, you can do stuff, you can branch out and reach, new corners that your family's never been to. Never taught that, just taught like 16, if you have a kid, you can do this, you can get council help, these are the benefits. And that was the situation. And that can only end in tears in terms of an economy and a population that increasingly isn't working and is just taking from the pot. And when you have a mass immigration situation where you're getting the size of a city every year, and again, unfortunately, the mass majority are net negative contributors. They're taking more from the pot than they're putting in. And we're seeing a mass exodus of wealthy people who would pay a large proportion of tax into the pot. Our pot is dwindling, and yet we have more to feed. As I said, unfortunately, the government is not Jesus, and it cannot feed the masses with 1 loaf and 1 fish. We have to be realistic. So I would beg our government and the likes of Reform to look to Hungary, who do progressive, positive action in terms of helping those Hungarians generally, they're a very indigenous population, have more kids. And they do that by helping those that do. So they reduce, I think, income tax for a mum of 25% for every kid they have. And after 3, I think they pay no income tax. They help people who do, rather than mass immigration or giving to those who already are potentially not adding to the pot, and enabling them potentially to not again look for work. You have to have the mass majority of society paying in. Otherwise, the coffers will run dry.